Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Angelica and I'm representing TDM 2000 International, as you can see. I'm here to talk with you about NGO management. This is one of the series of live webinars that we are conducting to support the capacity building of youth NGOs. We are going to talk about NGO management, not only for youth NGOs, but NGO management in general. And for this reason, we will also try to see very briefly which are the differences that you could have when you deal with the management of youth NGOs and where you're dealing with management of NGOs, and also which is the difference that you could find when you are managing in general. Management of an organization, that if this organization is a non-governmental organization, or it is a company, or it is a youth NGO, still it's management. This is something that we need to understand. But on the other hand, there are some small differences that we could say define the management of youth NGO and differentiate the management of youth NGO and general NGO management and companies management. How are we going to do? We are going to deal about this topic with two sets of webinars. The first one will be today, and it will be during a certain part of the program that I'm going to introduce you right now. Wait a second. Okay. So, NGO management, how to do? This is the first question that we ask ourselves, and we will try to give an answer on this question through these two webinars. The first one, it will be about why do we need NGOs, and then we will be talking about vision and mission that we have to build if we want to run successfully our organization, and also about organizational cultures and how these will affect the management of our organization. On the second one, we will be getting into more details of strategic planning, and we will be talking about organizational structures and about how to manage the resources that we have in our NGO. Just before starting to talk about the first topic that I just mentioned, which is why do we need NGOs, I just would like that you reflect on a few things. And the first thing I would like you to reflect is this question: why are we here? I guess that if you're attending this webinar, it's either because you already have an NGO, or because you want to establish an NGO. Otherwise, there is no need to follow this kind of presentation of webinar. And before starting to go into some technicalities, I would like that we all reflect, of course, individually, even if you are attending the webinar together with other people, I'll suggest to reflect individually on a few things, and you will understand why later on. I would like that you think about three things that you like the most. Don't think too much, just write down on a paper the three things you like the most. And then you write down the three things you hate the most. And after this, try to reflect on, again, three things that you'd like to change around you. Which are the things you don't like around you and you'd like to change. Also, try to think how you see your future. How do you foresee your future? How do you see yourself in the future? And also, what you'd like, what you wish you could change in the community where you live. These questions are very important to ask yourself if you are committed in establishing an NGO if you are thinking that you want to do something for the community. And you will realize very soon why and which is this connection. Now, so why do we need NGOs? Why it's important to have them in society? NGOs support all activities and concerns that make a vibrant civil society. Some of them, they develop culture and art. Some other protect the environment. Some other deal with protection of rights. And also, what do they do in general? In general, we can say that they create an alternative to centralized state agencies and provide services with a greater independence and flexibilities than other agencies. Also, we can say that NGOs promote pluralism, diversity, and tolerance in society. And they protect and strengthen, make stronger cultural, ethnic, religious, linguistic, and other identities in a society. Now, I want to bring you to another set of questions, less than before, and you already saw the connection. So, between the first exercise that I asked you to do before, thinking about what you like the most, what you hate the most, how do you see your future, what you would change in society. You see that NGOs support different kind of activities, and they are aimed at something. You see already some words here in this slide that are connected with possible things that you could do in the society to change it. And other questions I'd like to invite you to reflect on are, what do you know about the environment around you? What do you know about the environment where you live, where you've been brought up? And are you aware of any kind of cooperation that could be created, established between policymakers and civil society? Which are the priorities that your policymakers should establish, should set for a specific group of people in your society? All these questions can bring us to another particular role of NGOs in society. And this is like the NGO also help in establishing the mechanism by which governments and the market can be held accountable by the public. So NGOs can also affect and influence our policymakers in creating policies for development of the society in which we live. As such, they act also as facilitators of citizens' participation in their societies. NGOs provide people with opportunities to build trust in each other, provide people the capacity to work together toward common goals that could be related to things that you like the most, or to avoid that in the society where you live happen things that you hate or that you believe are not good for the society in which you live. All this increases the social capital, or else enable groups of individuals to cooperate for the mutual benefit, so for a broader social benefit, and may allow social institutions to perform more productively thanks to the work that we can do with our NGOs. The influence and importance of the NGOs differs depending on the national context in which they operate. The constitution of a civil society varies from culture to culture. In conclusion, often NGOs succeed in shaping the policies of a specific society, invokes the right of public debate around common concerns. So this is what we do with the NGOs in general, and this is why the society needs NGOs. The creation of an NGO goes through the analysis of the specific context in which it's created and through the values of the people that create it. That's why I was taking you to reflect on what you like and what you dislike. Keep always in mind that when you decide to create an NGO, there is always something that you want to do, you want to achieve, a vision, a mission that would affect the society in which you live. And now, before going on, I would like to take you to do another exercise. First, for you, try to make this only for yourself, even if you are together with other people, as I told you before. List a set of values that you think are important. I mean, those that are the most important for you. You can set 5 values, 10 values, no matter. Try not to list too many of them, but they have to be the most important for you. Once that you have them, let's come back to the first question that I asked you, why are you here? And let's think that you would like to create an NGO. For sure, you didn't come out with this idea of creating an NGO alone. It would be a little bit crazy to think that you would be able to do everything by yourself. Most of probably you have been talking together with some friends, some colleagues, or some people that maybe share your idea, your vision, what you'd like to reach, what you'd like to do in the society, probably. Sometimes it's not so easy to get to understand what the organization should do and how, and also which kind of people should work in order to achieve this kind of result, to reach the mission, the vision of your organization and the goals that you want to achieve. Very often, even if you start with some friends and people that you have been sharing with the goals that you want to achieve, sometimes, let's say that the common understanding of this goal could be understood in a different way, because we are different people, because people have different values. So the next exercise that I invite you to do, and this time together with your colleagues, friends, or just other people that share your goals and share the will of establishing an NGO. I would like that you do the same exercise that you've been doing alone. You ask them to do it. You ask them to write down a series of values. But this time I give you another suggestion. I suggest you to set 5 values for each of the people that you have in the group. And then get together and try to find, among all the values that have been established by each of you, the 5 common values that you have. These could be the values that you have in the group, that would like to establish the NGO. And on these values, probably your NGO could be based and could be created. Always remember, you have to share the same values with the people that you are working with, especially when we talk about an NGO, because of all the principles that we have said at the beginning of this presentation. And let's go at this point to the next part of our presentation. And let's see what we see, how and why it's important to have values, mission, and vision. The values that I ask you to think about, they must be lifetime values. And these are values that are for you, that are for the group that will be establishing the NGO, or that are already in the NGO. Don't forget that you can do this exercise also from time to time with the group of the people that you work with, to set a new strategy, to set a new strategic planning for the NGO for the next years, or maybe because the circumstances around you are changing, so you need to reset a little bit your long time vision for the NGO. So this exercise can be remade also in other moments of the NGO, not only at the beginning and at the establishment of it. The values should be values that are not changing tomorrow for you. These are values, they stay, they are yours, and they stay, and they have to be the base of what you want to build. So also your NGO has to have the values, and these values have to be shared by all the people that will be the core group of the NGO. Now, what is the vision? In general, we say that the vision is the desired end or an image of the future toward which an organization is committed. What does it mean? It outlines what the organization wants to be, or how it wants the world in which it operates to be. We were saying it before. It's a long-term view and concentrates on the future. It can be emotive, and it's a source of inspiration for the people that are working there. And for example, a charity working with the poor might have a vision statement which reads, "A world without poverty." This is a statement this is a vision statement because it's very far away in the future, and it's taking into consideration a value that is the fact that I believe that people should not be poor, and I want to achieve. When you state the vision, make sure that it is a concise and clear statement. It shouldn't be very long one. It should be concise, detailed, and straight to the point. We start the sentence with something like, "We strive for," "We believe that," "We are committed to." These are the most common words that we use. And now, another exercise for you that you can do by yourselves. Please try to describe the 3 or 4 key problems of the society in which you live and write them down. Take a few minutes to do this exercise. This is important. Just take into consideration all the things around you. Before, when I told you to reflect on the environment around you, and also later when I told you how you would change and what would you change in the society in which you live. Try to reflect a little bit on this point. And after you have done this, now imagine that you have been out of the country for 10 years. You have arrived back and found that your dreams of how the society should be, in terms of the problems that you have identified, have been fulfilled. So the problems are solved and society is functioning just as you had always hoped. Draw a picture of what such a society would look like, using color, words, images, anything. And this is your vision. What you think that the society should be after the improvement that you would like to bring, or you'd like that happened, how it would appear. This is your vision. And I ask you to draw it because it's more visible. It's more fulfilling also to see something that is a picture rather than only a sentence. You can actually take the time that you need and draw this future foreseen for the society for you. Thinking that is realized. This is your vision. It's easier also to explain to the others. Instead, let's talk about the mission now. And what is the mission? The mission defines the fundamental purpose of an organization or an enterprise. succinctly describing why it exists and what it does to achieve its vision. So if you continue with the example that we made before, we were talking about the charity that is working to reduce the poverty. We said it before. And work without poverty. This was our sentence for vision. Now we work for the mission sentence. And we could say providing jobs for the homeless and unemployed. So this is our mission. How do we want to achieve the ultimate vision for our NGO? By providing jobs for the homeless and unemployed people. In this way, we will reduce poverty. A typical mission statement answers to the following questions, which are: what does the organization do? In what does the organization believe? Who does the organization serve? What needs does the organization meet? And what makes the organization unique? So if you reflect on all these questions and are able to write a mission statement related to all these questions, probably you're able also to explain to others and to stakeholders especially what the organization would like to do. Example of the mission statement: we are an NGO working to ensure that all people in our country, particularly the landless poor, have access to land for sustainable development. We do this by helping government develop land policies that will benefit the disadvantaged. This is a mission statement. It's giving an answer to all the questions that we saw before. Why is a mission statement important? It's an easy way to communicate to others what we do and how we do it. For example, to the stakeholders, as I was telling you. It helps you to clarify and focus your work. If any of the components change, the mission statement needs to change as well. This is why I told you that sometimes we need to revise all these things to reflect on which are our values and what we want to achieve, because things around us can change. Therefore, revise your mission statement from time to time. We are talking about mission, vision, values, all these things because in the context of a strategic planning process, which is one of the most important things that we need to do at the beginning of the management of our NGO, both if we are starting or if we want to start a new planning. It's in both ways. It's useful to introduce the mission statement once that we have clarified the mission and values. But we cannot finalize the strategic planning until we have reached an agreement on our overall goal and on the objectives that we want to achieve in the immediate future. Now I have another exercise for you. And this exercise, it's quite simple. Who do we expect to benefit from our work? Which is our main or primary target group of our fantastic, of our imaginary NGO? Who, if anyone, will we work with on an ongoing basis to achieve this? And then you should write a statement which encompasses who you are, what you are aiming to achieve, and how you aim to achieve it. Your NGO, the imaginary NGO, advises the government of land policy that will ensure that all our people have access to arable land. The mission is something that is going to last for a long time, for more than 20 years, but you have to revise it from time to time. And here is how we say the creation of our identity for the organization related to strategy and values that we want to bring with our organization. So we create a strategy for our NGO that could be for 1 to 5 years. Then we set the vision that could be involving a period of time from 5 to 20 years. The mission should be long time valid, and finally the values that are at the base, that in this case are on the top of our pyramid, they have to be lifetime values, and they have to coincide with those that are shared by the people that created the NGO, that they have to be the values on which the NGO is based. Connected with this, especially when we talk about values or importance of things that we want to change around us, we have to introduce another concept, which is the concept of culture. The different cultures influences also the organizational styles of the different NGOs. So let's think on what culture is. Let's analyze the different organizational cultures and different organizational styles. Let's think again to the definition of mission, vision for our organization, and also to the organization of strategic plan. What is a strategic plan? We will see it in the next moments. But for now, we need to understand what is culture. Culture is made of custom, beliefs, art, music, and other products of human thought that have been made by a particular group of people at a particular time. And it changes also all the time. It's influenced by all these things, all these elements and products. In general, we say that culture is a particular way a group of people has of doing things. So, your organizations are a group of people that perform tasks in a specific way. So, in this way, we can say that also your organization has an organizational culture, because the way how you perform the tasks are based on your cultural background. In general, we say that the culture is hidden, and also the cultural organization is something that is hidden. You can see only 1 out of 10% of the things that are in a person or in an organization just observing. The other 9 are just hidden, and you have to discover them. So it means that we need to look beyond the obvious to understand well who we are and what we represent. And in this case, in our case, what our organization is and what it represents. So this was an introduction to the organizational culture, and the organizational culture means identifying certain patterns of behavior in which most organizations could easily identify themselves. As you say, it's a way of behaving. And there are different researchers or people that have been studying this topic that have considered how the culture influences the NGO organization, the management of the NGO. We already said, each culture has different ways to react to the same issue, and equally important, we have to consider that individuals can fit or not in a certain culture, connected with what we were saying. So, one of our, let's say, experts is Handy, and we take into consideration the 4 types of organizational culture that he has been studying and explaining. The first of these organizational cultures is the club culture. It's also an explanation. It's a club of like-minded people. So it's a group of people that think in a similar way. Which are the advantages of this kind of culture? Apply to the NGO, of course. The organization is productive. The objectives of the organization will be achieved one way or another, because all of them want to achieve the same results. The work is efficient and supervised. The system can be maintained and the organization can do anything. Their great strength is the ability to respond immediately and intuitively to opportunities of crisis because of their very short lines of communication and because of the centralization of power, because they are very much like-minded, so they can react immediately to crisis, and also they can respond to opportunities in an intuitive way. They are very much linked with each other. There are also disadvantages, and these are the production doesn't necessarily meet the needs, the decisions are made arbitrarily, the pressure can never be released. It causes resentment, anger, a desire for revenge on part of losers, puts people in defensive position, and personal needs of members are not satisfied. Instead, the role culture, this is the second one, roles of job boxes and put all in a logical order. We have some advantages also here. So here, the organization is like made of different boxes where each one of the people of the elements has a specific role. And the roles, the tasks and function are well defined and respected. The work is of good quality. The financial and hierarchical relations are well defined and well respected. Members feel they are taken into consideration. These are the advantages of this role culture. Each one is a specific role, well defined. The disadvantages, difficulties in facing unforeseen problems, time-consuming, few people can influence the structure because each one has its own box of work to do, of role, and cannot interfere with the others. That's why also there are delays in decision making, and also sometimes there are rejection of unplanned or unforeseen activities because we are not ready to catch them. We are ready to do only things that have been assigned to us. Then we have the task culture. This is a team of talents, so people that are very much specialized in doing something. They have resources to do specific tasks. The advantages are that the members feel they have accomplished something, they are motivated to succeed, because of course it's something that they are able to do. People are competent, specialized, very much rational, independent and analytical, and the causes and consequences of a problem are analyzed in detail, as are the possible solutions. There are also disadvantages, of course, and the disadvantages are the difficulty to mobilize the energy of members who are managing everyday tasks because they have their specialization. Difficult to make oneself understood because the others probably they don't understand what you're talking about as they are too much specialized in what they're doing. And difficult to obtain the consent of people when a change is required. Usually people that work on specific tasks and on specific competencies are not very much open to changes. And then we have the fourth cultural organizational style, which is the personal culture. This puts the individual purposes first, makes the organization the resource for the individual talent. So this is the other way around. The organization is not helping to achieve a common benefit. It is made to give answer to the talents of the people that are working in. The advantages are the personal needs, security, self-esteem, and all these things of the members are satisfied until a certain degree. Relationship between people are close and friendly, frank and respectful. It's because the organization is based on the personal relationship. Intellectual and emotional integration of members is the target that we want to achieve. We all want to feel comfortable and secure. The disadvantages are that we have difficulty to obtain the results immediately or to implement decisions. And also we lose a lot of time, and the energy is deferred from the objectives and from the problems that arise in the organization. Another exercise that could be useful for you, and this is the last thing that I'm going to ask you to do for today, just try to analyze the 4 models that we have been describing and think to which one fits best to the nowadays situation in your reality. Which is the structure that is working in your NGO, or which could be the structure that would work in your NGO. And this is, as I said, the last thing that I wanted to share with you today. I hope that this webinar was useful for you, and I invite you to follow us for the next one that will start talking about, as I was saying before, different structure for the organization, the strategic plan, what it is, how we use it, and how could we efficiently manage the resources of our organization. All these different topics will be divided in other sets, of course, and again I will propose you to do other exercises in order to test your learning concerning the management of the NGO. Thank you very much for your attention, and see you soon.